GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening, I'm Renata Solano. Tonight we'll unpack a DHL cargo plane fire at Lax, a record-breaking heat wave scorching our city, and the mayor's new street vendor ticket relief. Traffic is snarled with incidents and a red line signal glitch. Over to you, Bennett.
Our tiny GMNA gift shop is officially open. You can find it at shop.gmna.ca, running on Quickie.com.
It's a boutique with just 2 mugs right now, our entire mug lineup, so you can literally finish the whole collection in a single coffee break.
Don't worry, they're brewing new designs soon, so the mug roster will expand beyond our current duo, keeping the shop lively despite its petite footprint.
Even with just 2 mugs, the shop feels like a community hug, and now that we've shared the scoop, lots to get to, let's begin. Here are our top stories. A DHL cargo plane is preparing an emergency landing at Los Angeles International Airport after a tire fire erupted on the runway, prompting fire crews to respond. Julian Mercado has the full story.
Fire erupted from the main landing gear tires of a DHL cargo aircraft as it touched down on runway 3 at Los Angeles International Airport on August 27, 2026. The crew declared an emergency and brought the plane to a stop while fire crews rushed onto the scene. Smoke billowed from the wheel wells, but the aircraft remained on the pavement and no passengers were aboard, limiting injuries to a handful of ground personnel who suffered minor burns. Firefighters extinguished the blaze within minutes, and the runway was closed for a short period while investigators examined the damaged tires. The incident underscores the rapid response capabilities of airport emergency teams. Julian Mercado, GMNA News, Los Angeles.
At about 9 a.m. this morning, officers responding to a domestic violence call in South Los Angeles were confronted by 3 unrestrained dogs that surged onto the street. Capt. Mike Bland of the Los Angeles Police Department said one of the animals lunged and clamped onto the officer's lower extremities, prompting the officer to fire his service weapon. The shot struck the dog, ending the encounter. Police investigators are reviewing the incident as they continue to process the domestic violence report. The department emphasized that the use of lethal force was a direct response to the bite, noting the officer's immediate threat to personal safety. Animal control crews arrived shortly thereafter to secure the scene and assess the remaining dogs. No other injuries were reported, and the investigation remains open. The city will evaluate policies regarding animal control in future calls.
Yesterday, the Southland sweltered under a record heat wave, with temperatures soaring past 100 degrees for the first time in decades. Woodland Hills hit a blistering 111 degrees Fahrenheit, while downtown Los Angeles reached 98 degrees. Meteorologists said the surge marked the highest readings ever recorded in those neighborhoods, eclipsing the previous benchmark by several degrees. The extreme heat pushed energy demand to new highs, prompting the utility to issue rolling blackout alerts across the Western Valley. Hospitals reported a spike in heat-related visits, and the fire department reminded residents to stay hydrated and keep windows closed during peak afternoon hours. The Weather Bureau warned that the oppressive conditions could linger through the weekend, urging anyone without access to cooling centers to seek shelter before nightfall immediately.
Mountain lions spotted napping in the shade outside a sliding glass door at a Sherman Oaks home on August 26, lingering for roughly 1 hour. Authorities say the animal sought a cool spot. Wesley Tran has the full story.
Morning light catches a sleek mountain lion curled in the shade of a sliding glass door on a hillside home in Sherman Oaks. The big cat lingered there, eyes half closed, as the house's glass panels reflected the neighborhood's palm-lined streets. For about 1 hour the predator seemed content, shifting occasionally to find a cooler patch of shade, while occasional birds fluttered nearby. Neighbors reported hearing faint rustling from the garden, but no signs of aggression. The animal eventually slipped away down the slope, disappearing into the foothills that fringe the suburb. Authorities note the area's proximity to open canyons often draws wildlife onto residential yards, prompting residents to keep doors and fences secure. Wesley Tran, GMNA News, Sherman Oaks.
Yesterday, Mayor Karen Bass ordered the Los Angeles Police Department to stop issuing criminal citations to street vendors, calling the practice a mistake that has strained small business owners and fueled debate in the mayoral race. The mayor said the department will immediately rescind any tickets already filed and will review all past citations for errors. Councilmember Nithya Raman used the same briefing to unveil a new pro-vendor plan that includes streamlined permits, designated vending zones, and a city-run outreach office. Raman said the proposal aims to protect livelihoods while keeping sidewalks safe. The police chief confirmed the directive is being rolled out across precincts today. Advocates praised the move as a correction of policy, while some neighborhood groups warned that unchecked vending could affect pedestrian flow. The city will monitor compliance as the plan rolls out. Later, we'll examine California's lawsuit to halt the Trump mail-in voting order, a case that could reshape elections. Stay tuned, we will be right back. Thinking about selling online, most people give up long before they ever get a store open. Quickie.com changes that. Pick a template, add your products, and you are open for business. $10 a month, that is the whole price, no setup fees, and no cut of your sales. And there is the 10 on 10 guarantee. If you are not live in 10 minutes, your first month is on us. Mugs, apparel, crafts, coffee, if you can photograph it, you can sell it. Visit quickie.com and open your store today. 10 minutes from now, you could be in business. I'm Tessa from GMNA Studios.
Welcome back. California's Attorney General has filed a lawsuit today seeking an immediate injunction against a federal executive order issued by President Trump that would tighten mail-in voting procedures nationwide. The state argues the rule would undermine the ability of millions of voters, particularly in diverse communities, to cast ballots by mail, a method that has become a cornerstone of California's election system. In the complaint, the Attorney General's office claims the order exceeds constitutional limits and conflicts with state law that protects broad access to absentee voting. The case will be heard in federal court, where California hopes to block implementation of the rule before it takes effect. The lawsuit joins other state challenges to the administration's mail-in voting rule. The order would require voters to present additional identification and would cap the number of mail-in ballots each precinct could handle.
California lawmakers have passed bills to punish unethical attorneys and limit hedge fund involvement in court cases, responding to recent misconduct reports. Wesley Tran has the full story.
Lawmakers on the floor of the state capitol this afternoon approved two bills aimed squarely at curbing attorney misconduct and limiting hedge fund participation in litigation. The first measure creates civil penalties for lawyers found guilty of deceptive practices, while the second bars hedge funds from financing lawsuits unless they meet strict disclosure requirements. Sponsors said the actions respond to a recent wave of questionable conduct highlighted in the Los Angeles Times, which prompted calls for tougher oversight. Critics in the legal community warned the reforms could strain already tight resources, but proponents argued the rules are necessary to restore public confidence. The bills cleared both houses on August 27, 2026, with a bipartisan vote in the Sacramento legislature. Wesley Tran, GMNA News, Los Angeles.
California lawmakers introduced Assembly Bill 2760 this evening, targeting the use of electroshock gloves by federal officers. The measure would prohibit the Department of Homeland Security and its Immigration and Customs Enforcement component from deploying the devices during detainee encounters. Shock gloves, which deliver a painful electric pulse, have been deployed by DHS and ICE agents in a range of interactions, prompting concerns about excessive force. Recent reports describe detainees experiencing sudden shocks that left them disoriented and in pain. Sponsors say the bill seeks to eliminate a tool they view as inconsistent with California's standards for humane treatment. The proposal now heads to committee, where state legislators will debate its merits before any statewide ban can take effect. If passed, the legislation would set a precedent for limiting federal law enforcement equipment within the state's borders.
The state legislature approved a new bill today that obligates every agricultural operation in California to submit detailed reports on any per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances used on their land. Lawmakers said the measure will create the first statewide inventory of PFAS, chemicals that linger in soil and water and have been linked to reduced fertility, developmental delays in children, and higher cancer risk. Under the law, farms will file quarterly disclosures with the Department of Food and Agriculture, which will then share data with health agencies for analysis. The legislation also directs the department to develop guidance on safer alternatives and to fund research on long-term exposure effects. Supporters highlighted the urgent need to protect public health, while industry groups noted the reporting burden. The bill now heads to the governor's desk for signature.
Black jaguar Samba died Thursday after multiple rattlesnake bites at a California sanctuary, marking another fatal incident as the rattlesnake season winds down. Wesley Tran has the full story.
The wildlife sanctuary just outside the city, staff found the black jaguar known as Samba lying still after a pair of rattlesnakes had struck. The incident unfolded late Thursday night, just after 10 p.m., when keepers made their routine round and discovered the scene. The animal was examined and the bites proved fatal, ending the life of the only known black jaguar in the facility. Veterinarians said the venom took hold quickly, and despite emergency treatment, the injuries were too severe. This marks another loss as the rattlesnake season winds down, with the reptiles having already taken another animal earlier this year. Sanctuary workers are now reviewing enclosure safety and monitoring protocols to prevent further incidents. Wesley Tran, GMNA News, Los Angeles.
Let's get a quick look at tonight's forecast with our meteorologist so you can plan ahead.
A rising ridge and a southwest jet keep the basin dry, while lingering clouds whisper evening heat. On this date, the official record high stands at 83 degrees, set in 2024 during an unseasonal marine surge that drove temperatures down 3 to 5 degrees below the climatological norm. The record low is 47 degrees, recorded in 2020 when a high-latitude trough plunged cold air deep into the valley, producing a brief freeze despite typical summer warmth. Normal highs hover around 90 degrees and lows near 70, so today's near 90 feels like a textbook August. That contrast highlights how a subtle ridge now amplifying the pressure field is flipping the script back toward classic summer heat. The live radar is a blank canvas across the basin, no echoes from the mountains to the coast. With near-average pressure nudging upward and the southwest jet stream aloft steering any moisture eastward, the atmosphere remains stratified and dry. That means no showers will touch the city tonight, and the overcast band will drift away by midnight, leaving clear skies for the late-night hours. At 6 p.m., the basin sits at 91 degrees, feeling close to 97, with a partly cloudy veil and humidity around 46%. The western breeze whispers at 8 miles per hour, and the dew point rests near 68, keeping the air comfortably dry. Pressure is near average but rising, signaling a building ridge that will suppress any lift and lock and heat through the night. Meanwhile, the mid-level jet streams from the southwest at 42 miles per hour, reinforcing the ridge and sweeping any lingering moisture eastward. UV index holds at 7, and wind remains below the 16-mile threshold, so no gust concerns. No active alerts are in effect. With the ridge solidifying, let's transition to the 5-day outlook. Friday continues the ridge's grip, delivering a high near 95 and a low around 70 as an overcast deck drifts inland, keeping solar heating modest but steady. Saturday breaks the cloud cover, allowing the sun to push temperatures to a scorching 97 with lows still holding at 70, the warmest day of the stretch. Sunday eases slightly, high 93 and low 68 under clear skies, the cooling night setting the stage for a noticeable drop. Monday's ridge begins to retreat, pulling the high down to 88 and the low to 64, a welcome relief after 2 days above 90. Tuesday rebounds modestly to 90 high and 64 low, maintaining clear conditions as the jet stream remains positioned south of the valley, limiting any cold intrusion. The pattern underscores a brief heat spike followed by a gradual cooling trend. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll dive into heavy traffic snarls, the Dodgers win, and the AEG Archer partnership at LA Live. Stay with us, we will be right back. Thinking about selling online, most people give up long before they ever get a store open. Quick.com changes that. Pick a template, add your products, and you are open for business. $10 a month, that is the whole price, no setup fees, and no cut of your sales. And there is the 10 on 10 guarantee. If you are not live in 10 minutes, your first month is on us. Mugs, apparel, crafts, coffee, if you can photograph it, you can sell it. Visit quickecom.com and open your store today. 10 minutes from now, you could be in business. I'm Tessa from GMNA Studios.
An overturned big rig on the 101 near downtown has downed a power line, closing a lane and spilling traffic onto Sepulveda and Hollywood boulevards. Expect 3-minute delays eastbound on the 101 and a backup that reaches the 405 at the Vermont Avenue on-ramp. In Whittier, a fatal train collision near the jogging trail shut the 605 at Rosecrans for about an hour. Traffic is moving, but police control the intersection, so add extra time heading toward the San Gabriel River. Construction bites the Santa Monica Mountains. Agra Road stays closed for wildlife crossing work, diverting drivers to Pacific Coast Highway and Malibu Canyon Road. Canyon Trail Road remains shut for a power pole swap, sending traffic onto Mulholland and Topanga Canyon Boulevard. On transit, Metro's Red Line runs on a track between Union Station and 7th Street Metro Center after a signal failure. Trains run every 15 minutes, with full service expected by 10 p.m. Plan for the longer wait.
Tonight the Griffith Observatory opens its doors for a lunar eclipse stargazing party, streaming the rare blood moon across the sky. It's the kind of night you can't fake, a chance to watch the moon turn copper while the city lights dim. If vinyl spins still make your heart beat, head to California's biggest record fair, rolling into town this week with an all-vinyl DJ lineup that promises deep cuts and new discoveries for collectors and casual listeners alike. And right now the new LA fashion exhibition is on display, free to the public, celebrating the glamorous gowns of a Hollywood golden age designer whose work still haunts the silver screen. Walk through the curated rooms and see the dresses that once dressed stars in classic MGM pictures. 3 distinct ways to feel the city's pulse this week. Look up, tune in, and step inside history. And now here's Terrence with sports.
Dodgers stumble in Atlanta, while Lakers eye new talent on the horizon. The Dodgers fell to the Braves in a dramatic walk-off, Tanner Scott delivering a single that sealed a 6-5 victory. Roki Sasaki was 1 strike away from a complete game, but the late heroics erased any chance of a win, leaving Los Angeles to regroup. Roki Sasaki exited the Braves matchup in the bottom of the 4th after a blister formed on his right middle finger. The early departure forces the Dodgers to adjust their rotation, likely turning to a bullpen arm for the remainder of the series and testing depth behind the staff. Jonathan Kuminga secured a 2-year $13 million contract with the Minnesota Timberwolves, ending a prolonged free agency wait. The deal adds a versatile forward to Minnesota's roster and signals the Lakers' front office to explore other options to fill the void left by his departure. Stay tuned, Dodgers fight back. Lakers rebuild, excitement ahead.
Thanks, Terrence. AEG, the longtime builder behind many of the city's skyline moments, is breaking ground again in the heart of LA Live. Partnering with electric aircraft pioneer Archer, the firm is constructing the first vertiport in downtown, a rooftop hub where short-range eVTOLs will take off and land. The project promises faster, cleaner connections between neighborhoods, easing traffic on our crowded freeways and giving residents a glimpse of a future where a quick liftoff is as routine as a metro ride. For a community that lives on hustle and creativity, this vertiport could become a new gathering point, linking artists, workers, and visitors alike. AEG's willingness to experiment keeps Los Angeles at the forefront of bold, sustainable infrastructure. Coming up, we'll reveal California's new ban on disposable vapes and hear about birdwatchers chasing a rare juvenile purple gallinule in Irvine. Thinking about selling online, most people give up long before they ever get a store open. Quickie.com changes that. Pick a template, add your products, and you are open for business. $10 a month, that is the whole price, no setup fees, and no cut of your sales. And there is the 10 on 10 guarantee. If you are not live in 10 minutes, your first month is on us. Mugs, apparel, crafts, coffee, if you can photograph it, you can sell it. Visit quickie.com and open your store today. 10 minutes from now, you could be in business. I'm Tessa from GMNA Studios.
Welcome back. California lawmakers have approved a ban on disposable vape cartridges, citing toxic litter and fire hazards that strain waste services across the state. Wesley Tran has the full story.
Lawmakers on the floor of the state capitol today voted to bar the sale of disposable vape cartridges, a move aimed at curbing the tide of plastic waste and fire hazards that have plagued neighborhoods from downtown to the suburbs. The bill, approved on August 26, 2026, makes it illegal for retailers to stock the single-use devices that many teens and commuters have tossed onto sidewalks and into storm drains. Officials say the cartridges not only litter streets but also pose a fire risk when their lithium batteries overheat. Waste haulers have reported a sharp rise in toxic debris tied to the products, prompting the legislative push for a statewide ban. The ban will take effect next January, giving retailers a year to clear inventory. Wesley Tran, GMNA News, Los Angeles.
Hundreds of birdwatchers have converged on San Joaquin Marsh in Irvine, hoping to catch a glimpse of a rare juvenile purple gallinule, a species seldom seen in Southern California. Noel Kirkpatrick has the full story.
Birdwatchers have poured into San Joaquin Marsh today, drawn by reports of a juvenile purple gallinule that rarely shows up in Southern California. The marsh, part of the Irvine Ranch Water District, is buzzing with hundreds of enthusiasts setting up blinds and binoculars along the water's edge. Many have traveled from across the region, hoping to catch a glimpse of the elusive bird's bright plumage and distinctive call. Local volunteers are helping manage the crowd, keeping pathways clear while the birds move through the reeds. So far, several observers claim they've spotted the young gallinule flitting between cattails, though confirmation is still pending. Observers note a strong turnout from the local birding community. Noel Kirkpatrick, GMNA News, Irvine.
Thank you, Los Angeles, for watching the local sunset. Tonight's highlight was the mountain lion's hour-long nap by a glass door in Sherman Oaks, quite a reminder of our wild neighbors. Join us tomorrow for more stories that matter to our city. I'm Renata Solano. See you then.